So the wall-supported, the stomach-to-wall press down is possibly the earliest level of press exercises that I know of that are actually contributing significantly to learning the press. So the problem with learning the press is that there are several ways of mimicking the movement, such as being spotted with someone having the knees in your shoulders or leaning the upper back against the wall. But the problem with these exercises is that they will block your shoulders movement. And a press is about shoulder flexion. So as I move down in a press, I'll be in a handstand, and at one point when my legs will be down here, my upper back needs to round, which means that my hand will move forwards like this, which means that when I'm going to go back up again from that point, I'll need to flex my shoulders here and push my hips back on top of my body. So that is why I'm using the stomach-to-wall version, because it'll force you to work from the upper back and to actually be compressing from the midsection at the same time, because you can't compress further from the midsection than your shoulders can support. Now, with the stomach-to-wall press downs, you need to find the distance that is relative to your straddle. This will vary a little bit from person to person, but what you want is you want to be able to use the friction on the wall as you're sliding down. So now this wall is soft, so I'll be touching it only slightly, but I'll be mimicking the movement exactly how it will be looking. So as you're moving down the wall here, you'll be standing away from the wall. So let's say this will be my straddle, and this would be as far as I could go. And I'll be using the friction by sliding on the wall here. So one thing to think about here, if you have socks on, you will slide faster. If you're bare feet, you might be able to use more friction on the wall. And the lower you get into the range towards that point where you can't hold anymore, the more important the friction is, so that you can actually get some seconds of control and the feeling of the type of strength you need to develop there. Now another detail is that as you're opening here, if I just stay with my legs as open here, they'll going to go away from the wall at one point. So as you're passing past your 90 degrees and you go a little bit down, it might be helpful to pull the legs back inwards again towards the end of the motion, so that in the end you'll be closer to a pike rather than to an open straddle. This is something you'll have to experiment with, since people's pike and straddle and pancake and so forth are different. So it looks like this when performed. I find my handstand, I touch the wall, I straddle, I slide on the wall while pressing high, I slide on the wall, I slide on the wall, and about here I'll start pulling my legs together until I come down to the ground. So here, as with all pressing motions, you will very often feel a drop at a certain point in the movement, and this is completely normal. This isn't a problem. You will feel the drop coming where you cannot no longer keep the pressure in your shoulders. And your shoulders will be moving from one angle to another throughout the motion here, which means that there is a coordinative effort, and like you need to give your body time to understand how to coordinate and how to be able to express strength through this movement. And that is something that happens over time, and it's nothing that you can think yourself to doing. That has to come with your body's experience. So the main focal points and the cues that you need to think about for this is pull your legs to you very hard. Don't let gravity do the work. You're pulling the legs down as you're pushing very high in the shoulders to resist the shoulders going front like this too much. You want rather the chest to close here and the entire shoulder region rounding, like the upper back rounding more. So as you're pulling the legs down, you press the shoulders high, and you will inevitably in the beginning feel this kind of drop, but you will develop control and strength through the range over time.